like you have rightly said, I'm a professor of parasitology. I study parasites. And
the parasite that we are running for.
Yeah, I like to study them. No, in medicine or in microbiology generally, where we have three types of association in nature. There's an association whereby both parties in the association, they are benefiting from the association. That we call mutualism. But there are also some association whereby somebody is benefiting and the other party is not benefiting, even though it's not suffering any loss.
Right.
That is called commensalism. Then the third type of association is the one in which somebody is benefiting while the other party is suffering. That is called parasitism. The person that is benefiting from the association is a parasite, while the other party that is not benefiting, that is suffering, is called host.
Yes, sir.
So that is one field of study in academics and in medicine. I study parasites, whereby the host is suffering, but the parasite is benefiting. And naturally, when we hear parasite, as a layman, nobody wants parasites. Even in human relationship, it's also applied.
Even me.
It applies in human relationship. You may have somebody that depends on you, so this person is benefiting while you are suffering because of your association with that person. So that type of person can rightly be described as a parasite.
As a parasite.
But then, it's not all bad. When we say these parasites also have their own positive aspects. So every coin has two sides. In most cases, association with parasite leads to problem. If you as a host, you are not able to manage your parasites very well. That's what usually leads to a lot of complications. Some of which can be life-threatening and even deformation. Generally, parasites, they don't like to kill their hosts.
Wow.
Unlike predators.
So there's a difference between predators and parasites. That's what you are letting us.
Yes. Predators we like to, like a lion now, you understand? We like to kill, an example of predator, we like to kill his victim. But in parasitism, sometimes parasites go out of their way to ensure the survival of their hosts.
Wow. That is strange. I'm learning that for the first time.
Yeah. And sometimes parasites help their hosts to survive. Because they know that if the host should die, they also die. So sometimes go out of their way to help their hosts so that it can survive, so that they too can also live long and also survive.
In a nutshell, you are making us to understand that parasites are not always bad the way most people view them.
At all.
And they
are not always bad.
That's a big lesson.
They are not always bad.
That's a big learning call for us today, sir. Thank you very much for throwing that out there. All my life, and I believe it will be the same for most of our viewers, except people who are in this biochemistry or medical parasitology field. So most people think parasites are a bad thing. Are there other things you do outside your professional, medical, and academic practice?
Well, I'm also a very passionate farmer.
Which kind of farming?
I'm into fish farming.
Ooh.
I'm into fish farming.
Wow.
And if I want to be sincere with you, I will tell you that I make more money from fish farming, even than from what I earn as a lecturer or even as a doctor.
Amazing. So you are saying that academics and medicine is your passion just to help humanity, to contribute to the community. But if it's for survival, for the dough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in my farm. It's from my fish farming. That's why I get most of my money.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Prof. That's so much for introduction and just ice breaking. Now, let me ask you, if you compare ancient and modern, let us say ancient being Africans, and then we had the colonialists come and everything changed to Western. We now had orthodox medicine as compared to our trado medicine or whatever was indigenous to us. In the past, I do hear of medical practitioners being sanctioned when they have opinions about anything that goes outside orthodoxy because of the oath that they have sworn. Maybe it's a kind of but I hope you will be able to get the latitude to compare with us that because people believe that the efficacy of our own indigenous medicine. What would you say about that?
Well, indigenous medicine has a lot of advantages over our modern medicine, sincerely.
How, sir?
Because most of the products that from where we get the modern medicine, they are from the plants. They are from plants. They are from indigenous medicine.
Thank you.
Only that in modern medicine, we are able to extract the active ingredient from the plants and refine it and able to quantify that this is the dosage.
Wonderful.
Unlike traditional medicine where the crude plants together with the active ingredients where they use it, you understand? That's the advantage. But then the problem with modern medicine, like there are a lot of theories, especially for the pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Sometimes they are not very sincere. Sometimes they are not very sincere.
Right.
So that's one of the things.
Thank you very much for that. Because growing up over the years, it's usually like kind of maybe doctors had oath of secrecy, which I don't think it is, but I know you have this. Is it hypocritical or what is that? What is that?
Yeah, hypocritical oath.
Yeah. So, and a lot of them, it will be as if it's a disservice to orthodox medicine, and they might be sanctioned. But you have been able to put it in a way because it's commonsensical to know that everything that we even take to the lab originates from nature. Even our own even as we stand, you scientists tell us that all elements that occur in nature are present in our body. And when we go back, the earth absorbs it. So now, everything pharma, of course, a lot of things are generated, maybe synthetically in the labs. But generally, we know most things come from the earth. They come from nature, and they are now converted and refined. So to now say that people that are using those things naturally and are able to apply them and have found them as remedies, as if to just trash it. After all, modern medicine actually evolved to what it is today with modern equipment, laboratories, and advanced technology. So I'm grateful that you're able to help us situate that. Also, in the past, we are going to other areas. So where I was going is that we have what can be classified today as modern diseases. I put the word modern because growing up in our own times, even in Nigeria, there are some things we never used to see then, but just because we adopted the food of other places and their ways of lives, especially the Western world, we started developing diseases that were not common. That doesn't mean they are not present at all, but in a high preponderance rate, in a high rate of occurrence. What will you say with where we find ourselves with modern diseases? Cancer is just one of them. What will you say to that? How can you help us to understand both in our own African society and and globally generally? Because even the preponderance of these diseases were not this high, even in Western societies before. But right now, it's all over. And there's this what is called the medical industrial complex and the big pharma, where it is profit over people. And it looks like I don't know if these things are being they don't want it to go any away anytime soon, because like our guest last time on this program said, that it is multi-billion-dollar business, trillions. Over to you, sir.
You see, modern diseases, like you have rightly said, emanates mainly from our lifestyles. Like in the olden days, there are diseases like cancers that are not very common, but because of exposure to certain chemicals, food preservatives, all this nylon, those are some of the things. Let me give you a typical example. You see, I was in Germany before. When I brought my family to Germany, my daughter there was 5 years old. And within 2 years, she started developing, puberty rapidly.
Excuse me, wow.
Because over there, we have this milk. The milk comes in 1 liter. And she likes taking milk. She liked taking milk.
Wow.
So she started developing breasts. But surprisingly, when we came back to Nigeria, the puberty was reversed.
Wonderful.
It was reversed. So I was surprised. So with that, I could attribute it to the type of food we are eating over there. The milk, the chocolate, all those things. Some of this food, they produce them with hormones. The cows, they give them hormones to produce milk. And these hormones, when you take it, it also acts on your body. So I could now, I came up with an hypothesis that it was the hormones from those milk, from a lot of milk that she took over there, that make her breast to start developing rapidly. So when she came back to Nigeria, instead of her to continue, she reversed, the breast disappeared again.
Wow.
So some of this food that we eat, especially from genetically modified animals, you understand, some of these have a way of bouncing back to us. Unlike in the olden days or in our African settings, where we eat local chickens, eat local meat without hormones, without injections, you understand, which are very healthy. Even in the Europe, organically produced food is more expensive, but the rich people, they prefer it than those that are genetically modified or animals that are given hormones and antibiotics. Wow, so some of these diseases emanate from what we eat, from what we drink. There's a saying that water is the only drink for a wise man.
Water is the only drink for a wise man. I choose to be wise. Wow. So that's amazing. That leads me to another question. So because like what you said, it has not changed here. These milks are still being sold in jars here as well, 4 or 5, what we call 4 or 5 liters. That would be several gallons. It is actually in gallons. They call it gallon here, maybe 1 gallon. Yeah. So if just food, it's good that you are able to trace it. For many people, that's a lifestyle they will continue in for, as long as they stay in that area, maybe in that country or wherever.
Yeah, if we did not come back to Nigeria, she will have continued like that, and we will not know.
All right. So it means, that people should actually be watchful whenever they realize things that is not what they are expecting in their bodies. Now, that leads me to 2 things. You mentioned the plastic. You said even plastics. Is there a problem with plastics? We have used plastics and we are still using plastics all our lives.
Unfortunately, plastic is said to contain carcinogenic chemicals. In Europe now, they are beginning to phase out plastic. I remember as of then, they encourage you to carry water bottle from your home instead of using blind nylon. In those days, for example, here in Nigeria, it is leaves. If you want to wrap your food, you wrap it with leaves, which is organic.
From the farm.
Yes,
green leaves.
From the farm. But with civilization, they begin to wrap food with nylon, something like fufu, like pounded yam, like semo. They wrap it with nylon.
Is that a problem?
And this has consequences.
It's neater. Does that have is that a problem for us?
Yes.
In what way,
Apart
sir?
from the fact that these nylons are not biodegradable. they are a problem to the environment, unlike leaves, which is biodegradable and organic.
That's true.
So there are chemicals in these plastics and nylons,
right?
That have tendency to give people cancer.
Awesome. Thank you for enlightening us on that. Truly, I think the education is going around. In fact, they used to tell people, don't leave plastic bottled water in your cars. We have been hearing that, campaign for some time now, that if you keep the water, it is not as good to drink as it was when you put it there because of heat and interaction. And like you said, the particles, microparticles of these plastics that are not healthy to the body. So that's so far about food. You lived like 6 years in Germany. Why did you return to Nigeria? Many people, once they have the opportunity to Japan, and you're a doctor and you're practicing over there, why would you come back to Nigeria when many people are looking for the opportunity for visa?
Well, my brother, Nigeria is there's no place like home.
Wow.
Life over there is a life of slavery. It's
really?
Very unfortunate that, yes, it's unfortunate
when you are
that
making
we don't have
hard currency.
Over there, they give you money with right hand and they collect it with left hand.
Oh.
And that is why most people, if you see somebody that travel abroad and come back to Nigeria to be spending money anyhow, then definitely that person is into something else.
Wonderful.
Is doing something else over there. Either this 419, but there's no way you will be there. It is very difficult for you to save money. They give you the money and it ends there. It's difficult for you to save the money and bring it home. Everything is so restricted. So I enjoy the freedom of Nigeria. Nigeria is easy to make money compared to overseas. The only problem we have here is bad government. If not because of bad government, they are the ones that should even be coming to Nigeria, to Japan, to Nigeria, to come and enjoy.
For real. That is the Europeans and other parts of the world, Chinese, Indians, that should be coming to Nigeria.
Yes, if you have good government, they are the ones that are supposed to be coming to Nigeria. Because here we are so blessed. When it comes to agriculture, the weather is okay. You don't have to pay to heat your room. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The weather is okay. You can easily get organic food. You can farm here from January to December. You can farm.
Around the year. But, Prof, you are back to Nigeria because there are people who jackpada, and I heard some people regret it if things didn't work out according to what they expect. And it's very difficult for them to now japa again because sometimes once you disconnect, it's not easy to start again. I mean, when you look at Nigeria today, will you say, and looking back with the current situation, will you say you have a good experience jackpada into Nigeria, or what's your experience?
Well, luckily for me, maybe because I have something good to do in Nigeria.
Right.
So for me, it's better. I have no regret coming back. If I want to go back, I can always go back. But for me, I'm comfortable here than going back. If you are young or you don't have anything to do, well, you can decide to go and try your luck over there. But if you have something serious you are doing in Nigeria, it's better to stay.
But since you are someone that, you are in the medical field, and a lot of people train abroad. Some of them, they train abroad, come back home and interact. You have contacts internationally and you travel internationally too frequently. I want to ask you, have you met people who jackpaded and regretted it? Do you know one or two like that?
I have a lot of friends that travel to Saudi Arabia, to Arab countries to go and hustle, but eventually most of them, they still come back to Nigeria.
Wow.
And they even though they earn a lot of money, but sometimes money is not everything.
Money is not everything.
Yes, money is not everything. There are people that say, oh, because of my children, let me go and give them a good life, let me expose them. Eventually, the children will have their independence. You understand? You sacrifice your happiness because you think you want to give your children better opportunity. At the end of the day, when the children now have their freedom over there, you end up being lonely. Unlike in Nigeria here, where it's difficult to be lonely here. You have extended family system, you have friends to keep you company, you have things to do. But over there, once your children leave, everybody is always busy looking for money. It's difficult to socialize. It's difficult to socialize over there.
Nigeria.